Hello, this is Austin with Josh's Frogs, and today I'm going to be showing you how to set up an enclosure for a fire-bellied toad. At Josh's Frogs, we have two different species of fire-bellied toad right now. The Bombina variegata, which is the European fire-bellied toad, and then Bombina orientalis, which is the oriental fire-bellied toad. First things first, we're going to want to include substrate. When you're choosing a substrate for something that's going to be kept primarily on water, you want to make sure that the gravel or the sand or the pebbles that you're using are not something that the animal can ingest. So we've chosen these turtle pebbles because they're nice and big. Most of them are way too large for these toads to eat. Just a heads up, it's the loudest thing in the world. So next, you're going to want to add your cork bark and your decorations. These will be the toad's primary feeding sites. So you want to make sure that you have quite a bit in here. They're also going to be the places that the fire-bellied toads can hide. Most cork bark is going to be rounded like this, and so they usually will be hanging out underneath or just away from the bark so that if you walk by or you're messing with the tank, they can go in if they don't feel comfortable. Next are your plants. With fire-bellied toads, you can do live or fake plants. They're not in danger of eating them. Some of the options that you can use for live plants would be pothos, philodendron, spathiphyllum, anything that likes a lot of water. And for the water, you're always going to want to make sure that if you're using tap water to fill your tank and do water changes, you're using a dechlorinator. All city water will have some sort of chlorine in it, and that can be quite harmful to all amphibians, and especially the ones that are going to be spending a large amount of time in the water. To help cut down on water changes, but not eliminate, you'll still need to do water changes if you're keeping your toads on water. You're going to want to add a submersible filtration, and you can place this anywhere in the tank. You do want to make sure that with smaller frogs and smaller bombina, that you remove their ability to get close to the intake on these because they occasionally can get stuck. An easy way to do that is to butt this end right up against the glass so there's no possible way for them to do that. With most of these front opening tanks, they do have wire access in the back. And you can run the wires up through there. Usually they're located in the back corners on each side. This is a Zilla tank, and they are located right here. They have spring-loaded openings. Exoterra has sliding ones, and usually they have parts of their lid that are holes that the cords go right through. For these species, temperature monitoring is important. You can use these terrarium thermometers. They light up with what temperature they are. Or you can use the digital thermometers or digital hygrometers to make sure that the parameters in the tank are in a safe range. For fire-bellied toads, mid-70s is a good spot to be in. And then humidity is not as much of a worry because they are going to be in water and it's going to be humid no matter what. And for these, because water temperature is so much more important than ambient temperature, you're going to want to make sure that this, if you are using one of these stick-on ones, that it goes right where the water is going to be at the bottom. Now, as for feeding, you have a couple options. Primarily, most people are going to use crickets. They're easy to gut load, they're easy to keep, and for these frogs or toads specifically, you're going to want to feed anywhere from 1/4 to 1/2 inch crickets when they're adults. Same size for dubia roaches. With dubia roaches, you're most likely going to want to have a feeding dish that they can't climb out of because these things drown very quickly. Basically as soon as they get into the water, they start to drown because their faces are on the underside and their legs are dangling in the water and they just can't get any air. And crickets are a little bit better at floating right on top of the surface of the water. I've seen many fire-bellied toads come up from underneath and just grab a cricket off the surface. They're not typically picky. Another one that you're going to want to have a feeding dish for is black soldier fly larvae. And then again, waxworms. These ones are primarily a treat. They're very fatty and frogs can get accustomed to them, and then they only want to eat waxworms, and that can be a problem because they're not as nutritious as something that's like a roach, a cricket, or a black soldier fly larva. I mentioned that we have 2 species of fire-bellied toad. The orientalis are from Asia around China and India, and then the European fire-bellied toads are from Central Europe, Germany, the northern part of Italy. There's another species that looks almost identical to them that is on the other side of the Alps. So if you ever wondered how to set up a fire-bellied toad enclosure, now you know.
Thanks so much for watching this video. Here at Josh's Frogs, bringing nature to your doorstep is more than just our mission, it's our passion. We want you to have the most successful experience possible, so we're going to be here for you before, during, and after your purchase, whether that's with our captive-bred animals, plants, insects, or the wide variety of their care products on our website. You always have access to our dedicated customer service team, on-site nature experts, hundreds of free articles via our blog, and many more videos right here on our YouTube channel, so be sure to subscribe. We're always happy to help. Just shoot us an email or give us a call. You can find all of this information and more at joshsfrogs.com. Thanks again, and see you next time.